Good morning to a stunning, reasonably cloudless day 144. Plenty on today, Monday. Labour not at the levels it should be at the moment, so we're trying to find out what's coming and who's coming, and we have hardly any masons. We have 2 masons on site, but there's not a lot of masonry work to be done at the moment. We have 1 carpenter, but apparently we have another 4 coming. We have 6 labourers by the looks of it. Is that 6? But ideally we need 10. So we are meant to be having another 4 come today, so that we need to get that dealt with as soon as possible, because today's task, the main thing, which I don't know if you guys remember, but downstairs under this ugly floor that I'm standing on is lots and lots and lots of timber and lots and lots and lots of jacks. So what the guys are going to be doing today is continuing with the task of taking all of the jacks out downstairs strategically and getting all of the actual formwork from the ceilings down. Don't forget, we need to make sure it's in good condition as well. Yeah.
You should do what you gotta do.
Make sure the formwork, we need the formwork out as best condition as possible, guys, as well, yeah, because we've got to reuse it up here. So we've got to try and take it away from the concrete. It comes away quite easily, but normally what you do with formwork apparently is you put some form of grease or whatever else on it, so that it actually leaves the surface better and also leaves a cleaner look. But here it's just been shoved up, obviously. So today is about trying to remove the pressure from the jacks, get the jacks up, and then try and remove all of the formwork in the best condition as possible, because we need to reutilise all of it. Literally coming up here, all the way along, the whole roof. Everything's got to be formworked. So all this sort of stuff here, as we did with the basement floor and the ground floor, we've got to be doing that with the roof. And then we've also then got to leave a couple of strategic lines going through the building to try and make sure we support the floor, so as and when the jacks hit, taking the pressure from the roof, it goes down on the ground floor, and obviously then we've got something holding the pressure up. So I think we've got about 120 jacks downstairs, so we're probably going to end up going down to about 50, so 100 odd can come out. So I've got to get down there today and tell them, obviously, once they've taken everything out, where everything's going to be put back in again. And also it'd be worth going around and filming the floor to find out, obviously, where the cracks are. And once we take the jacks out, do these cracks get any bigger? That will certainly give us an indication whether anything is weaker than it should be. So I'm going to get down and have a quick look at that later on as well. Again, we had rain yesterday, so that's not helped downstairs. They would have had, as much as we've obviously got some tarpaulin over it and some plywood to cover the hole, water gets in. So I'll keep on asking the guys as well to cut some bits and try and cover up some of the holes where water drips off. I mean, over here, for instance, the water drips off the edge here and goes down and actually hits the wall where we built closing the doors up, and it goes inside. So again, the more rain we can keep out, the better the condition is downstairs. So they're going to be feeling the condition of not doing that today. So it's going to be pretty hell down there. But the aim this week is to get the jacks out, get the formwork down, get all of it up to this floor, get the jacks taken away because they're too short, get 50 of the jacks put back in strategic places to ensure we keep the weight off of the main ground floor. Got 150 extended jacks arriving so that we can actually reach the ceiling height in here. Formwork then going back up here on this floor, roof-wise, and then the rebar guys following through and installing all of the actual rebar as we go, with a view to finishing this Sunday with everything finished, pouring Monday. That's the aim, but if we don't get labourers here and we don't get carpenters here, then that is not going to happen. So at the moment, I say we need 6 carpenters and we need at least 6 labourers downstairs and 4 to 5 labourers out here. So let's see how it goes today. We'll get the guys up together, make sure everyone understands the plan, and let's try and make sure we can try and get this done as soon as we physically can. Okay, so we're in the basement. Today's job is taking out all of these jacks. And that's the easy part. It's then taking out all of the floor above. So as you can see, as I'm going through, you get a bit of light. All of this flooring above me has got to come out. So then there's beams, Okay, so I'm now at the one side of the house. So this is the mess. Put a light on so you can see anything. So obviously we've got all the columns here that have been unboxed already. It's everything basically above top column to bottom ground floor. Most of it is reasonably dry down here, but it's wet over here because obviously the staircase above is going to let water in. But all of this has got to come out. So this is halfway through the house now, through the beam, central beam. The guys over there are obviously in the team taking it down. One of the difficulties is that as you take down the jacks and then the 4x2, you've then got to be careful that the panel itself, obviously it's reasonably formed into the concrete itself, but obviously they can be loose. So if you take those down and they come off, then we do have a few damp patches, which I'm assuming, never assume, but I'm assuming that potentially through the floor itself there might be some corners that haven't been poured properly, or I'm gonna have to get up there and have a look. So I'm gonna basically take some pictures, obviously where we've got damp patches. You can see this, we're getting like sort of stanky nights coming through, what they call them. It's not because it's been damp up there quite a bit. We do get, if I remember rightly, where are we now? This is the side of the house. So here is probably the dampest part of the floor upstairs, and that's absolutely fine. So a few damp patches here, but again, not too sure why that is. It's wet over here in this corner. Again, we're getting quite a bit of damp in and around here. And again, we've got a sump hole in each corner that's full. Again, I would say it's probably coming through the side of the formwork. So that just means that where the concrete beam was poured, it's not going through as well as it should do. So we need to get that sorted. That's obviously got to be taken up after a pour. There's a few patches of concrete that have come through. God knows where. That would have poured through here somewhere. Probably here. So that's what it looks like. So again, that's all chased up. And here's what's happening here. Looks like we're starting to see the floor itself. There's the air conditioning hole there. So it's letting water through. And that's technically what we've got to do. This has been a poured wall, needs to be sorted. We've also got to put the drainage through as well. So we've got, that's main gutter coming all the way to the ceiling. We've also got to run from the bathrooms. So there's the laundry room there. We've got to run across the roof here, some from the waste to the wall here, down into the cavities and then bust out. As we do along here as well. That was a test hole in the wrong place. Probably needs to be around about, all of the actual waste themselves probably need to come out around about 3 foot, I would say. Bust straight through and that'll go out into the front return. So as you can see, the water is just collecting in some of the actual air conditioning holes. So we've got to try and get all of this done today if we can. So I need to think about out the box about what incentive I can give these boys. Still downstairs, not good. So yeah, plenty to take down. All of this needs to be taken down and passed through upstairs. And then we've got to then put potentially through here, jacks going central through here, pretty much as they are now really. Every 4 foot apart through here, all the way through the other side, and the same over there, but all the rest can come out. Everything's coming out and going up. This is where the air conditioning system will go through here as well. So that's upstairs, if you remember rightly. So, and it gets lighter and a bit more pleasant the more you come towards the light. But then we've obviously got the water here as well, so again, really need to pump that out. And once the roof's on, obviously this will stop. But we need to try and get it all swept out. As you can see, the floors are now going all gammy as well. So we need to get that out, get that dried out, get the sun coming through as soon as we physically can. Other than that, a day's work, that's for sure. Okay, 20 past 12. Bit of sawdust straight in the eyeball from the carpenter. This is doing some work. Whew, got the wind blowing this way. So what are we doing? Okay, so at 20 past, we have got a third. Well, actually, we got our second carpenter's arrived because he went off to pick up the third carpenter. So they're now here. Junior, the excavator driver, is now down here trying to get this sorted. So we dug this one out now. The pipe is up. It's been dug down as far as it needs to be. Junior's just taken some of the edges off because basically as soon as we finished, it fell in. So we need to get that leveled off, and then they're going to literally dig all the way along there by at least another 10, 12 inches. We're going to have to dig the base of the manhole out because we've actually gone through it, and we're going to have to go down about 12 inches and re-cement that. Carpenters, I'm not too sure what they're doing in there. They might be just removing that formwork. It's quite a simple thing to do. Beckles is downstairs, building the staircase for the side, as you can see. Good job, Beckles. Looking good. So the step will literally start here, come across, and it'll be formworked all the way down. And we are going to increase the steps by another 2 because it was going to be 4 foot off the ground, and this was going to be levelled off, but we're actually going to go a bit deeper so we don't have to come so high. But Beckles down there doing that, which is an awesome job. These boys are taking down some scaffolding. Third scaffold carpenter is actually getting the shuttering done down here. So we're actually shuttering up the formwork, installing the formwork for the garage beam. So as you can see down here, so this beam itself needs to be boxed up on both sides. So the scaffold is erected. That's going to end up being finished off soon, and that will be poured later on. I'll probably get up there later on and spray there as well because they've been out in the open for quite some time, and they're using the wall rather than the floor just to try and hold the pressure. Obviously the concrete will come this way as and when it's filled, so that's obviously stops that happening. This has been left up because obviously we're going to be continuing this along and boxing that, but we can't box that and pull that until that has been done. That's been knocked out, and the beam has actually been installed here because they need to tie into this beam itself. And also, as we know, labourers have been downstairs taking out the formwork. So as you can see, it's 3 o'clock. Make sure that it's recording this time. Last time I was chatting away for about 10 minutes and it wasn't even on. Used to talk to myself, don't I, Tash? Anyway, just when we thought the sagas in and around sewage couldn't get any worse. Unreal, eh? But anyway, this one's out now and been dug out and is ready to be reset with a proper run on it, thank God. This one's actually being dug up properly because we want to literally get that reset as well, which means we can do this one here. But as you can see, we've hit rock. We've hit rock here, here and here, so we're going to have to dig that out. Doesn't really need to do that one in all fairness, it's really the other one, but I think all of it can go. There's a red gunge firing out the front of it. But anyway, he's doing that part. Whilst he's doing that, this column's been stripped off, although the formwork should have stayed on the sides because we need it to go across the doors. As you can see, we're just tidying up the bottom part. Quite a big column. But in ideal world, we should have the formwork on the side because we need to go across. So I'll have to do put back on again later. More jacks out, more boards out. Hopefully they're stacking the wood properly this time. Guarantee they're bloody not. So, more wood being denailed, more jacks coming out. Wood not being laid down properly again. Can you make sure the wood's stacked properly, yeah? Make sure the wood's stacked properly, yeah? Otherwise it bends, yeah? So we need to stack the wood properly because at the end of the day it's been downstairs for a long time, so we now need to make sure it's all packed straight and doesn't bend, so we don't want any overhangs hanging off. So you get those redone. You think after me stacking it properly they would have gathered that's how it's meant to be done. Clearly not. Plumbers here, stressed as always. So yeah, it's been one of those days. We're making a bit of progress. The garage has actually been formworked up. Looks like it's leaning to the left to me. To make sure that's straight, it looks like it's leaning. These are all support mechanisms, obviously. They're trying to do the outside, which they're nearly done. Yeah. It does look as if that's leaning in, I'm not too sure why. boss is here for once, but he's sat under the shade doing nothing, being a Colin talk. We've got this backfield as well. We should just get some of the mud and then get over. As you can see, this is what's under the ground. Very good. Anyway, he's got to do that bit out, and then we can actually get the pipe in there and get that actually measured flow-wise properly. And then we have the side of the building which we've been working on. I say we, I. Not too sure where. Oh, the plumber is still here, just disappearing around the corner. We've worked out that just down here we've got to have a 27-inch run from one side of the building to the other. And at the moment we have a certain depth with regards to the grass and the turf finish that's going to go in. So as you can see here, this needs to have a run. So from the step itself, we're meant to be 6 inches minimum underneath the actual soil with the pipes themselves. But by the time we get over to there with a run, we're actually going to land up being around about 10 inches with the pipes out of the ground. So we're going to have no choice but to take the soil down here level now and try and get those under, so that we actually get the run needed to land up going into the manhole, which is tucked into that corner just over there. So we're going to have to dig up the driveway in a minute and run that through. But before we do that, I'm asking them to pull a line because they want to try and do it without the line, which is just suicide. What we've been through so far, where I'm not doing that again. So anyway, they've agreed that they're going to literally try and pull a line somehow here. I'm not sure how they'll do it. We would just literally pull a chalk line. That's the easiest thing to do. And that gives us the line we physically need. But anyway, I'm going to try and pull the line itself in a minute and put a chalk on it so I can actually see it, because at the moment they don't seem to be that enthused about doing it, and I'm not going through this again, that's for sure. So I'm going to go and do that now. That's probably it for the afternoon. Where are we now? 3 o'clock, another hour and a half, and I'll check in and tell you where we are at that point. 4:30, day is nearly over. The sun is obviously gorgeous at this time of night. Check that out, everybody. 4:30 sun is absolutely amazing in Barbados. At some stage I will be sitting on this patio trying to enjoy my time here, probably looking back on this thinking what the hell actually happened. But anyway, that will be a nice thing to be doing. This afternoon my mother and sister-in-law arrived, which is going to be good, so I'm going to go home in a minute, go and see those. Quick update on where we are so far here. Like I said, in an ideal world we need to put those back on to protect the column, plus we also need those to go across anyway. The guys are going to start building the formwork very shortly. I don't know how we've got on downstairs. I'm going to have a quick peekaboo in a minute. These beams need to be stripped because they've been poured, but again, the longer the boarding stays on, the more they get protected from the salt air. Props everywhere, they obviously need to be taken away, so we need to get that looked at. What have we got in here? We have some timber being stacked properly now, which is nice. Carpenters doing the formwork. So it'd be good to see how much we've actually got out down there today. Hopefully we've got most of it done. Let's have a look over what we've got. We've had the whatever they call it, but it's like a little Kango thing on the end of the actual excavator to break all that up today, because we still need to go a lot deeper. So that's been done. They've been concreted in, as you can just about see. So that's been dug up and reset and reconcreted. That now needs to be done. On doing it, you can see, unfortunately, the manhole gave up the ghost a little bit, so we're probably going to remove that wall, that left L-shaped edge. We're probably going to remove that completely and start again. We've got to go down about 10 inches anyway, but we've got to be careful because the pipes are still coming into here set now. So we need to remove the front piece. We've obviously Kangoed this, Kango the floor up, reset the floor, rebuild the two sides, and then we can then get this all backfilled from here, push this over, and then the excavator can get down, get the septic out, dig deeper, get it in, and put this bloody saga to bed. It's been going on for about bloody 4 months. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, over here, Beckles has been working on the staircase today, which you saw. As we can see, the staircase is pretty good. So we've actually got steps going down. Like I said, I'm extending the steps. As you can see, Beckles has extended the steps by another 2. this was actually going to be to the level it was going to be at, and then all the land needed to be increased to this level. But I want to take it down by another couple of steps because I just don't want to be bringing this mud up too high. And we've also still got to get in there and dig that out yet as well. Yeah, no problems, man. This is obviously needs to be straightened. It's not like Beckles. But yeah, so this is like a 6-inch step, 12 inches. This would be 5 feet. This is 6 inches. And then there'll be 6-inch, 12-inch steps all the way down onto the beach. This will be plastered. Also, it'll be filled with concrete. At the moment, it's not, so you can't even lean on it. Rebar comes at the top, as you can see. Once it's poured, it goes completely solid. And then obviously this will be the shower. Other than that, that's pretty much what we've been doing today. I hope they got as much of this as they could out there today. Still looking for more labourers. More carpenters. With this week we need to get the roof up, ready, rebar and pour for Monday. That's the goal. But we are a little bit behind. So fingers crossed we can get back on track and make up some of the loss we've already made. We've got 3 carpenters on site today, which is good, and apparently there's another 4 coming tomorrow. So we are definitely on target to try and get more in, that's for sure. So fingers crossed. Again, this is the hallway coming through. So garage getting ready to be poured as well. Other than that, we are nearly where we need to be. So I'm going to grab the camera and go home to see my mother. Other than that, another day over on planet Earth, and I'll see you tomorrow.